Hey y'all, I just wanted to come on here real quick and just give, some thought on some things. I have recently relaunched Dreams and Journeys, started and relaunched Coach Jay Chanell, and I'm getting ready to start doing more videos and I'm gonna be out in the community a whole lot more. I just had to revamp, sit down, and really think about some things. But something came up to me in conversation just last week and it's been on my mind ever since. And it's so many topics I want to talk to you guys about as far as like our youth, taking fentanyl. And other drugs and the parenting and just where we're at in the state of community and families. But this is one thing, and it was just so simple. It was so crazy. Like I'm talking to my dietitian, my nutritionist, and we was just having a regular conversation and something came up like in our conversation because we be talking about so many different things and that's just, the nature of our relationship, I guess you could say. Even though it's very professional, we still put in a little, we've built that relationship. So we still talk about just day-to-day shit. You know what I'm saying? So we was talking or whatever and it came up, it was something about her facial expression. I didn't know if she was there or not. And it was like, are you there? Did you freeze or something? And we kind of laughed. And she was like, no, like, I just sometimes my face just doesn't match with what I'm feeling. And we just kind of kept going there and talking about that. And it just seems like ever since COVID happened, and we can't necessarily just blame it on COVID, but you know what? I'm gonna keep it real. I do, but I don't want nobody to come for me or whatever. But it just seems like since COVID came, since that pandemic, our youth, our adults, everybody, so many people, I don't want to say everybody, so many people, it just seems like they lack emotional intelligence. You know what I'm saying? And I do believe some of that came from the mask wearing. When we talk about young people and young adults, the mask wearing, that's all they were seeing was mask. And then on virtual, and if they were virtual, the kids, they had their cameras on. You know what I mean? They were going through something. And oops, y'all, I'm so sorry. My little light just fell. But they was going through something or whatever, right? And they weren't having their cameras on, and then when they was out in public somewhere or somewhere with family, they had masks on, so then you weren't able to see faces, lips, cheeks, all of that. And I'm one of those people, I talk with my whole face. You know what I'm saying? Like with me, you would probably be able to see, like my emotions going up or down or happy or whatever in my eyes. But everybody don't talk like that. And then I talk with my hands too, right? Because you see what I'm doing. It's just, it's given. It's, it's in me. It's not on me. So, but some of those cues, you didn't see smiles, you didn't see frowns, you didn't see like that facial emotion that you get if you didn't have a mask on. And I do it, we all do it. I know I do it. I'm not gonna lie to y'all. Like let's say it's a function, a family function somewhere, and it's gonna be at so and so house. And I get to talk to somebody, I be like, I don't wanna go over there because our kids don't act right, the little ones, the big ones. They be butting in the conversation. They don't know how to read the room. They don't know when not to talk and this, that, and the other. And we kind of blame it on the kids and like, hey, we don't want to deal with the kids. And I love the kids. Trust me, I do. Trick, I love the kids. I really do. But it ain't the kids. It's us. It's the parents. We made sure our kids knew how to log on, get into those laptops, those all the other electronics that they had to do to go to school or be in groups, social groups, or whatever. We taught them that. But we forgot to teach emotional intelligence. We dropped that ball. It's not the kids' fault. You know what I mean? Like it's us. And I'm gonna just be real. It's us. I'm constantly on my son about certain things and I correct him when I notice something. You know what I mean? But again, we was teaching the kids, trying to be on their ass about doing this, doing that, virtually, and make sure you log on. It was we didn't even care if our kids didn't cut the camera on. Teacher was emailing us, calling us, talking about, oh, Brandon didn't have on his camera. It's like, girl, please. The world is in the fucking shambles. I could care less that he ain't got his fucking camera on. You know what I'm saying? So we we were pushing them to just go, just log on. You know what I mean? But we did drop the ball on certain things. Now I can't remember everything, so I do got some notes for y'all because I got some statistics. I want y'all to know this is real. This is what's really happening. So, this is some research from Public Medical Central. They're saying what the research does support is that mask wearing and social isolation made it harder. I am so sorry. That phone should have been cut off, y'all. We're going to cut it off now, though. What? And see, I was going to record from my phone, but then I ended up using my laptop because it's just easier for me right now. We're going to cut that off. We're going to go ahead and just cut that off, child. We're going to cut that off as soon as I can figure out. Okay. I'm sorry, I'm going to start over. So, from Public Medical Central, they said research does support that mask wearing and social isolation made it harder for many children and young people to recognize and interpret other people's emotions. I just said that. Especially happiness, the smile, sadness, and fear. So they almost don't even recognize fear. So, like, let's say it's a group of us and it's different generations or whatever. The adults are scared because they see something coming. The kids, they just da 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 in their phones. They ain't recognize shit on your face to recognize, like, oh shit, something must is happening. They don't get it. They don't get it. Here's another one. Research found that children were significantly less accurate at recognizing happy, sad, fearful facial expressions when faces were covered by masks. I just said that. Somebody else did that research. Multiple studies found masks made emotion recognition more difficult because they covered the lower half of the face. Science Direct said that. Frontier in Psychology said some newer research suggests children adapted over time by paying more attention to eyes, showing that the brain is remarkably resilient. So instead of paying attention to this down here, they start paying attention to the eyes. I am a person that speak with my eyes because my eyes get big, especially if I ain't got my glasses on, right? Them eyes, they get low when I'm trying to read you. I'm like, oh yeah, let me tell you about yourself. Or they get really big, you know what I'm saying, when I'm talking. So naturally, people will kind of be able to tell without looking at my mouth area. They will be able to tell, like, like what emotion I'm feeling because I do speak with my eyes. And again, I speak with my hands too. So let me see what else I have. So in a 2025 survey, 45% of parents said the pandemic in a negative way affected their child's social skills. And 42% said in a negative way it affected their child's mental health. About half of those parents reported those social and mental health difficulties were still ongoing. Check that out. We out the pandemic, but we still dealing with all the aftermath, all the side effects, all of that that's happened due to what was going on during the pandemic. And I'm going to leave you guys with this. Emotional intelligence is a muscle. If it isn't exercised, it weakens. But the good news is we can strengthen that again. And that's where Coach Jay Chanell come in. Whether it's through Dreams and Journeys, giving my programming, or me working with you one on one with your children, with one child one on one, with you one on one as a parent, to help strengthen that muscle again. That we can bring that back, but we must bring that back because we're getting a whole generation of kids that can't read the room. And I'm gonna leave you guys with that.